Welcome back to the Precision Trader. I just wanted to do a overview of today's order book, help you to see how powerful it is, knowing where the resting orders, the buyer and sellers are sitting in the market, how you can use this to your advantage with precise entries and exits. So with that said, we're going to start with GME. If you haven't watched previous video, a lot of education there on the order book. But with that said, our bias is always towards the largest level of liquidity, the majority of buyers and sellers. In this case, 190 on GME today was definitely the bias. And we can see that we opened up today at about 182. And yeah, we got the liquidity tractor beam effect. Sure enough, pulled it all the way up to 188. What do we have here? We're starting to have, as you can see here, we'll go from black to white, or black to blue to white to yellow to orange to red. And of course, the more we get to that red, the thicker, the larger the amount of orders are at that area, telling us that, hey, this is going to be a significant level. So with that said, 187 to 188. Yeah, a lot of sellers in this area. That would have been that really was your first level for take profit. And then from there, yeah, we'll get under the 187, 187 sellers. And pretty much more times than not, whenever we see a rejection under major liquidity like this, we end up pushing back to the intraday VWAP, and that's exactly what we did. 183. We can see right here, 183 VWAP. There's always buyers at the seller or buyers at the VWAP whenever we're above it. And of course, when we're below it, there's always going to be some selling once we get to the VWAP. So with that said, it pops it all the way back up to the sellers at 187. And from there, that was a good take profit, because the strategy is understanding the order book is you want to be more wait and see. You don't, when you have this knowledge, there's no point in blindly just holding and hoping and wishing. When you know this, know that you're going to have a lot of sellers in an area. Now, granted, could it absorb all these sellers and, continue to push right through it? Yeah. But more times than not, the safest thing is you take profit just in front of these sellers, these major sellers here. And then what you do is once it shows that it can push through these sellers, absorb them. And then what will happen is we'll come back and we'll get support. We'll get support candles on top of this liquidity. And then once you start seeing that, you start seeing, a 5-minute support candle or multiple 1-minute candles, 3 to 5 minute or 3 to 5 1-minute candle supports. When you start seeing that, then that's telling me, hey, okay, we've absorbed these sellers. We can hold them. Now we're pushing to the next major level. Okay. So yeah, you may give up 10, 20, 30, 50 cents in this area, but at the same time, that is way better than giving up, just sitting here blindly, just saying, well, I'm staying in to 200 or one. There's no point. There's really no point. And again, as you can see here today, that's exactly, ended up pulling all the way back to 183 VWAP again. And we see that from there, push right back up to the sellers at 187. Now this one, this was again, still a take profit and see, but with that said, we started getting some solid, let me make sure I'm on my right candles. Yeah. Started actually getting some support candles right in this, right on top of this 187. But at the same time, it was, you had sellers right here at 188. So it was there's just so many sellers right now in this 187 to 190. So it's just risky. It's really, really risky. And sure enough, it rejects all the way back down to 183 once again. Again, this is the third time testing this area. If you watched in previous video, once an area starts getting tested 2, 3, 4, 5, you got to realize that every time that area is tested, the buyers in this case, the buyers at this level, they're going to get weaker. I mean, you're going to absorb more of them. They're going to become less and less. So you're not going to have as much, as much support in that level. Because again, at the end of the day, buyers and sellers are what in the order book is what makes your support and resistance line. Drawing lines on a chart is all well and good. Drawing trend lines is, that's knock yourself out. You know, when I was, you know, just starting out, hey, draw all my support lines, all my, you know, all the different trend. I mean, that's all well and good, but that they mean absolutely nothing if the order book, the buyers and sellers don't back it up. Because at the end of the day, this is what produces the support lines. This is what, you know, produces the trend lines, the resistance lines, you know, why your CCI does this, or your MACD does this, RSI that does that. I mean, again, those are all lagging. This right here is, yeah, the order book is ultimately is what's causing all that to take place. So with that said, that's oh, okay, we've got a nice live shot. I'll tell you what, if you want to buy the dip, 180, 170 to 180, good buy the dip on GME. Look for a pop back to the VWAP, 183, probably at a minimum, and likely a punch back to 187. And if you're wanting to swing trade, yeah, 190. 190. You can all but guarantee that's gonna push to this 190 liquidity. Yep. So like I said, nice buy the dip opportunity right here on GME at 180 for a push to, you know, like I said, a minimum. If you want to scalp it, you know, play to the VWAP to be on the safe side. And then, but yeah, like I said, a push to back to 187, 190, very likely. Situation like this, you're buying the dip right here. Okay, you put your order in there. Really, you got to be willing to buy this dip to 178. 178 with a stop loss, 176, 177. Yeah. If you do that, it's yeah, you should fare pretty well. With that said, let's see. You know, we like to use the SPXL for the overall market. Again, SPY, we can't use, because again, anybody that's come to our server knows that we really heavily rely on the S&P 500 for market direction, because it's yeah, I mean, it's just that powerful. I mean, if you watch it day in, day out, and how it affects the overall market, three out of 4 stocks move with it. So SPY starts falling through the floor, you know, 3 out of 4 stocks are going to fall with it. And usually most of the time that 1 out of 4 that's not is usually a biotech, a meme, FOMO stock, something like that. But everything else, more times than not, it's gonna drag with it. So with that said, SPXL, we use this ETF rather than the SPY. The SPY has way too much liquidity. It's hard to pick up the big levels. Whereas with this, we can see it very clearly. So this morning we were looking for the rejection to drift back down to, again, 115 correlates with 440 SPY. And as you can see here at 440, there was just a load of sellers ready to sell in this area. So it's one of those that, yeah, we use that to our advantage, and also too on our short scalps. It just made our short scalps even that much more powerful this morning. And again, we already also too in our pre-market prep, we already had a bias that we were going to drift lower back to the 1 hour 50 MA. As a matter of fact, let me look at the SPY. So with that said, here's our 5-minute candles on the SPY. We see, sure enough, ran right up to that 440 liquidity, and we started getting rejection. Because again, I mean, if you're just looking at candles and you're, you know, all of a sudden you just start rejecting here. It's like, why? Why is it rejecting? Well, because we just saw the order book. There was people loaded to sell there. So again, charts, I mean, technical analysis. Hey, I have 2 indicator courses, so I'm all about technical analysis. But at the same time, without an order book, I mean, you're just you're flying blind. Yep. Not that the RSIs, the MACDs, etc., trend lines, moving average, not that they can't help you out, but at the same time, it's super risky just relying on them, to be honest with you. So with that said, like I said, we pushed up there, got a rejection under this major moving average right here. This is one of my, so here's one big one, here's the other big one. These are really big moving averages with buyers and sellers that always ready to go at them. So I mean, like I said, you can see here it comes down, supports off of it, and finally breaks below it. And then, yeah, and then we got our algo levels here. Yep. A lot of computer trading. So the computer algo levels, they have to be they have to program these algos, these big trading computers to trade off levels. And a lot of that is, these algo levels, and knowing where these levels are extremely, extremely beneficial. All right. So with that said, we're going to get back to, or I'll tell you what, I'll show you some of the plays before we get to the, where did it go? Let me see. I can't get it to pull up here. All right. I apologize, guys. I don't know why it's not giving me the option to pull up. It's not giving me the. Oh, okay, there it is. All righty. So get to the Discord here. Should be showing it now. All right. So as far as our plays, well, first and foremost, our pre-market, we were looking for drift lower on the S&P. The SPY, we're looking for it to find some buyers back in the 432 to 435 range, and which is where our 1 hour 50 MA is. And sure enough, we've drifted down to 435, 436 today. Just a reminder that, hey, we're still in a downtrending market. We're still below the 50 MA daily. So anybody that's just wanting to get all bullish, and you just, you got to be extremely careful right now, because ultimately, if we go back to the buyers in the 420s, this will be the third retest of them, and honestly, good chance are they're not going to be able to hold it up this time. And when they do, it will break the 410 to 415 on the SPY is very likely. So you will be getting a good, if and when it gets down there, or when it gets down there, you're gonna get a nice buying opportunity on a lot of your stocks that you like. All right, let's check out some of our plays. I think we had about 8 or 9 of them this morning. All winners. We have been on an extremely good streak to pass. No losers. No losers on our intraday plays. Let's see. Let's get back to today. No losers on our intraday plays for over 2 weeks now. This is going into our 3rd week, and we've been averaging probably anywhere from 5 to 8 plays. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty good probabilities there. Anyway, so with that said, today, we get to today. Sure will be nice. Okay, all right. Okay, so we started off with a firm with a lot of buyers at 150. As you can see here in the picture, the buyers are ready to go at 135. A lot of people wanted to, buy the dip right there. And we'll go back to our order book and check out a firm and see exactly what that looked like today. All righty. Okay. Let's see, we're on the 50-cent increments. Okay, so this is what we saw this morning. Screenshotted before we got there. We were at 137, 138 when we send out the play. Again, we were planning to buy the dip here, and sure enough, comes right to these buyers, bounces right out of them, pushes all the way back up to 140. And at that point, we took profit and actually shorted, sent out that alert. But again, we we gave the one, for some reason it glitched, or yeah, just went blank here. But with that said, we mentioned that it wanted to push to 145. I'll tell you what, I'll just show you that it wanted to push to 145. Let's see here. Yeah, here was our thing on SPY. A lot of sellers at 440. So we were ready for that drop in the market, that major resistance there. Take your profit on a firm. Bounce to 135. Yep, we got that. Short scalping Tesla at 799 to 801. We'll look at that in a second. Netflix shorting at 640. 640 Netflix. We'll look at that one in a second as well. Okay, so the sellers, again, we took profit at 140, 139, 140 on a firm, but we were looking, as soon as we could absorb those and get support candles, we were looking for the push to 145, 145, looking for it to come. And then ultimately there's a alert a little bit further where we took profit, plan on taking profit at that level, and actually shorted it. So really, really just taking advantage of the market both ways. So with that said, we pushed all the way up to 145. And again, this is where we were. Yep. This is where our expectation. I told the guys it would be a good swing opportunity, even if it in the event that didn't push there today. And sure enough, it got there today. But with that said, sellers really started coming in heavy and ended up pushing it all the way back down to 140, VWAP at 140. And yeah, that was, yeah. AFRM's been very good to us today. So where are we looking to buy the dip? We're looking to buy the dip at 136 to 135. So we get down here right now. We don't want to mess with it. We're just below the VWAP. There's no point touching this stock right now. Anybody buying right now? I mean, they're not good traders. So with that said, you're buying the dip here, or you get on top of this VWAP, these buyers at or the sellers right now at 141, start getting support candles on top of that, then hey, more power to you. Play to the 145. But right now, this is a no touchy until it gets to 136, 135. So let the market come to you. Don't chase it around. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, so we mentioned Netflix, short Netflix at 640. Why did we say that? Well, this is why we said that. Because sure enough, we got support candles down here on these buyers, 632, and we had the VWAP support. Yeah, we said we were looking for the push to 640 on. Let me see. Let me find that. Make sure. Because I'm pretty sure we, okay. All right. So right here, here's the one. 635, Netflix was at 635. Sent out the guys, let them know that Netflix was ready to push to 640 and then short scalp it once it gets there. So with that said, yeah. So as you can see here, it got to 640, ready with the shorts at 640. And we were very much rewarded with that. Pushed all the way back down to 630, all the way back to 630. So yeah, if you're not greedy, if you got an order book, I'm telling you, the market becomes so much more simple. Without it, yeah. Because I mean, a lot of people say, oh, don't day trade. I mean, honestly, with having order book knowledge and not being greedy, willing to scalp, it is the highest probabilities. Again, we haven't had a loser in over 2 weeks of trading. Now, I can tell you right now, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's, people out there with some high probabilities, but I can tell you someone that's averaging, 5 to 8 intraday trades, a day. So what's that? 20, 50. So we've had around 60 something trades. Yeah, 60 something trade, 50, 60 something trades over the, a little over, like I said, today's Monday. So anyway, so a little over 2 weeks of trading. Yeah, that's 100%. I'd say that's some pretty high probability stuff. Now, we do lose. I mean, but at the same time, we do OSO orders. So we have our stop losses, in the event that it pops through one of these heavy liquidity levels, but same time, more times than not, when it shoots through one of these liquidity levels, absorbs these sellers, you're going to have the comeback. You'll get your opportunity to pretty much get out for break even. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Even if something pushes through, say, prime example here, say I got short orders right here at 640. All of a sudden it just blows through it, absorbs these sellers, runs all the way to 643. 9 out of 10 times, what's going to happen? It's going to run into these sellers, and these sellers are going to knock it right back down to test the 640 liquidity. So more, in this situation, I'm going to add here and then add at 645. And at worst case scenario, I'm going to get a break even around, right around this level. And then if it goes back to 640, it's a winner. So yeah. With that said, it's the probabilities are quite high, to say the least. So, and again, there's a lot of different ways that you can take advantage of it. All right, let's see here. What was another one we sent out alert? Okay, Tesla, we're shorting it at 677. The alert was for 799 to 801 short it. So why were we shorting it? Which I'm about to get back into a short after I get out of this video. Yeah, because she's more than likely, she's going to push back up to 799 to 800. Okay, so let's go. Let me see here. Was it? No. Okay, no. We sent out the alert for 799 to 800. But I actually got into the short. I got into the initial short at 796 and 797. So in here, and also two nice band of sellers here at 797. So yeah, that's pretty easy. So what we're doing is we're coming in the process right now, live trading, in the process of coming back to find support. Well, we just had a support candle come down on top of this, where we had a bunch of sellers right here, retesting that. With that said, short orders ready to go at 799 and just below 800. Because this is easy short today, guys. Free play right here. 799, 800, 801, 802. You can have short orders in all those areas or puts, and you're gonna make some money. Just a matter of how much. So with that said, we're gonna stop the video there. Hope this order book session helped you out. If you need some more help on it, feel free to come visit the server. Like I said, we're doing intraday trading. If you're somebody that wants to day trade or even swing trade, again, you don't have an order book, whether it's intraday, swing trade, long term. To know where the big buyers, because again, just if I'm intraday trading, on big caps, you want to be looking at the 50-cent increments, the dollar increments. If you're somebody that's swing trading, you want to be looking at the dollar increments and the $5 increments. If you're somebody that's long-term investing, in stuff for long swings and stuff like that, you want to be looking at the $5 increments. Again, and then you're selling, you're buying and selling based off these major levels. So with that said, hope that helped everyone out, and appreciate you watching the videos for the ones that made it to the end, and may the market be with you.